China Express. My name is Michael Kim.
And I'm Russell Cooper. Today we'll be teaching you about the Korean War.
Today's History Channel is brought to you by Maria Kipdia. It's where you learn history fast and easy. It started from June 25th, 1950 through July 27th, 1953. It was the part of the Cold War between the Republic of South Korea, supported by the United Nations, and the Communist North Korea, supported by the China and the Soviet Union.
How it started. 75,000 North Korean soldiers came across the 38th parallel to invade South Korea's capital, Seoul. The United States responded by pushing a resolution through the UN Security Council calling for military assistance to South Korea. With this resolution in hand, President Truman rapidly dispatched U.S. land, air, and sea forces to Korea to engage in what he termed a police action.
Why did the U.S. help South Korea? The United States did not want South Korea to become communist. They didn't want dominant theory to occur, which was if one falls to communism, others will follow.
UN pushes back North Korea. On September 15, 1950, United Nations troops landed in an amphibious assault at Incheon. The landing was a huge success, and the United Nations effectively cut the North Korean army in half and pushed them out of South Korea. China's revenge. UN's attack resulted the Chinese to revenge on UN troops. Between November 1950 and January 1951, the Chinese managed to push back the United Nations force. After a clash with President Truman, MacArthur was sacked, and the war degenerated into a war of stalemate, with neither the United Nations or the Chinese managing to gain the upper hand.
The third final UN offensive in May and June of 1951 pushed the Chinese back up near the 38th parallel again. For the next 2 years, the war was fought mostly in the air as the battle line on the ground hardened into a massive defense network on both sides.
Finally, the armistice was signed on July 27, 1953 to formally end the war in Korea. North and South Korea remained separate and occupy almost the same territory they had when the war began.
So it's been about 61 years since Korean War ended. However, North Korea is still communist and the South Korea is still democratic.
Let's watch a veteran interview video.
Some of the army that were caught and they were tied up with rope and shot.
No, you could get killed just as easy one way or the other, but I think the Chinese were better fighters, actually.
You know, they don't call it the Forgotten War for nothing. Nobody remembers Korea.
There was a thought that the North Koreans would just sort of run as soon as they saw a few Americans. That wasn't the case.
It was very, very hot in the summer and extremely cold in the winter.
They charged the U.S. troops en masse, and the children were out in front.
It was a terrible war, and it wasn't a police action, it was a war. Is it a forgotten war? Of course it's a forgotten war.
2 miles between hills where we had troops on, so I mean they could walk right through. It was horrendous.
Korea is an unwon war that never ended, and no one wanted to pronounce it a war so soon after the Second World War. It was the Korean conflict, a police action, and much later, grudgingly, the Forgotten War. But it was death and wounding and heartbreak. The hostility which had festered during the first years of the Cold War burst when the fledgling United Nations acted to prevent the spread of communism into South Korea. The result? Nearly 150,000 UN soldiers died, hundreds of thousands of Chinese, millions of Koreans. In all senses of the word, it was war, the Korean War.
Alright, we're back with quiz time.
We'll be asking some questions, and a selected winner will receive a gift. Number 1. What is the borderline called between South and North Korea?
Number 2. How long did the Korean War last?
Number 3. Who was the U.S. president during the Korean War?
Number 4. What is your favorite candy? Please answer these questions on www.facebook.com/History Channel Express or our YouTube channel right here. And remember, don't stress, it's just a test.
Alright, that's all we have today. Thanks for joining us on History Channel Express. My name is Russell Cooper.
And Michael Kim.
Miss K, back to you.